Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. I am your host, Brian Burns, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Molly Barbieri.
Hey, everyone. Thanks, Brian.
And today we have local artists, internationally acclaimed artists now, Dylan Perry. I mean, you just came back from Europe. You've been doing a lot of stuff over there. We're going to get into that, but definitely got your start here in Tampa, and now you're kind of taking it worldwide. Dylan, thanks for coming on the program.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about where you just came from. You were in the Netherlands. You were in Hamburg. You were doing a couple pieces for us at Visit Tampa Bay. You were at some very acclaimed sites that people in the artist community are very familiar with. First one being the STRAAT Museum in Amsterdam in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing there? Can you tell us a little bit about why you were there and just how you were able to bring a little bit of Tampa to Europe?
So at STRAAT, there was an event that Visit Tampa Bay was doing. It was like the marketing and tourism event. It was special. There's probably a handful of key people that they wanted there. But basically, they brought me on to paint 2 shipping containers inside the STRAAT Museum. Originally, I thought they were going to be outside, paint outside, but I was actually in the museum for basically 2.5 days painting these huge shipping containers. And man, it was I've never been there before, first off. So not only stepping in to that museum first, being an artist and seeing all this amazing, legendary artwork by these amazing artists, painting in there was a whole different level. So I couldn't really even absorb any of the artwork until after I was done painting what I had to do. And plus live painting a mural of that size, there's also the patrons that are coming in all the time. And it's it was cool because I got to stop and talk to people, have the iPad out, kind of show them my process.
Yeah.
So it was fun. But yeah, that was definitely life hammer. I can't believe I painted here,
Yeah.
So it was really cool. But yeah, I brought a little bit of Tampa Bay to Amsterdam, and I incorporated in that mural some tulips. You have the orange along with the orange dot that I kind of like to incorporate in everything. Palm tree kind of melting onto it, and it was fun. My little champagne
tulips being from Netherlands,
yes.
kind of tying the two together.
I've got a nod to the Netherlands always, man, because it's a wonderful place.
So the STRAAT Museum, I'm sure probably a lot of our listeners don't know what that is, but that's a world-renowned street art museum.
Yeah.
So even if you're not even painting there, you're probably going to Amsterdam, you're going to the STRAAT Museum just to see what they have on display there.
Correct. Yeah.
But then to have your work be on display there.
Yeah. I mean, just on display only for those couple days. I mean, and then they moved those shipping containers back out to the yard, which, it probably got tagged up the next day.
Yeah.
But it's fine. But just the fact that I was having it, I was painting in the museum for those couple days was mind blowing. I'm I can't believe I'm here, up on the scaffolding and the ladder, and people were just who's that dude? What's he it was really cool.
Yeah.
And I actually ran into somebody that knows the guys, my studio mates as well. So he was hey, I'm here with my family. I'm what? He started name dropping people, and I'm what small world moment just happened? So I was this is pretty cool.
I was looking at the Instagram that you put up on your page. It just kind of shows the process of how you were putting that piece together with the 2 shipping containers. And when they bring it out, there's a mural, or it's already tagged.
Correct. Yeah, there was already artwork on it. So
and that's because it's out in the yard, and people can just go in and do whatever they want.
Yeah. So there's a whole separate section behind the STRAAT that you can kind of go and practice spray painting, or put your tag up, and you see how long it lasts. Sometimes there's it's an interesting world with the graffiti tagging and everything, because some tags will stay forever depending on the artists and or the crew.
Yeah,
it's hey, don't mess with their tags. It's just respect. You know what I mean? So but yeah, for some that I did, it's it was special for the event. I knew it was going to tag up, but it's funny because I was back in Amsterdam the week later, and someone had tagged the bottom of it. So then, of course, I went and tagged over theirs.
Yep.
So it's you know what? It's all good. It's circle of life.
Yeah, it's a one-upsmanship kind of game.
Yeah,
that you
for
got
sure.
But you were expecting that going in. You knew
knew
that it was going to get tagged, and
Yeah.
that's kind of just the nature of the world, I guess.
Nature of the game for that situation, for those shipping containers being out there. But no, it's cool. There's no stress on that one. Respect to artists because I painted over someone's artwork as well.
Right.
Mhm.
So
And it looked really cool. I was looking at it. I was
It was rad.
why are they painting over this? That looks great.
Yeah, I mean, man, if the plan was to incorporate the artwork in some way, I would have probably left a piece of it just because like I like to do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it just I had to put my mural up real quick.
Yeah. And so is that kind of like when you're doing that and you're in that process and you're in that museum that's really famous and well known, especially in your world, do you have that kind of like moment where you just kind of sit back and think to how you got to this point and that you're actually doing this in the STRAAT Museum?
Oh yeah, I came from Rome a couple days before, so like I was a little tired and like that was a personal trip. So I came back to Amsterdam, coming in hot, like got there, site visit, met the crew that I needed to, and I was just sitting there and I'm like, I have to paint in this place right now.
Mhm.
Like what? I don't like I wanted to just come here on my own, but I'm
Right.
like, now I gotta paint here, like getting goosebumps even talking about it, like, oh, I gotta like perform, I gotta do this now. But it was really cool and like also like being around that like amazing artwork and like gave me some motivation. I'm like, I want to actually have my work in here one day. You know what I mean? It's like, there's a shepherd fairy like behind me, and I'm just like, what? Like I'm here painting, like so I couldn't believe it. And I didn't really even tell a lot of people, like I didn't or announce on Instagram that I was doing any of these projects.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go do them. Like
Mhm.
there's no sense in like, hey guys, I'm gonna go do all this
Like
stuff.
a promo before type
no,
of deal.
no.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna be like, hey, just go watch me
Mhm.
do this. So yeah, it was really great and like just it was next level for me. Like I couldn't believe I was on the scaffolding, just like staring at this artwork while I was trying to concentrate on my own and like, nervous that people were like judging me, like, oh, why is he painting over this? Or like whatever.
Right.
Like it's like the live painting aspect's always interesting because it's like, I've learned over time not to care. Like, hey,
Mhm.
this is what I'm doing. If you don't
Mhm.
like it, cool.
Right.
But if you do, continue to watch and I'll explain this to you.
Yeah. That's such a bucket list item to like paint in the STRAAT Museum. That's
It
so
was
cool.
definitely bucket list, like, and a highlight of like, I mean, the whole art journey so far. It's
Yeah.
like, I feel like people work a long time to get to that point, and like, I got the opportunity to go there like kind of early on, which like I'm still earning my stripes. Not saying I'm like some famous artist dude, but definitely a great experience and like culture shock too of like being surrounded by that artwork again. It's just
Yeah.
like these pieces are huge, like size of this room. Just like I'm just staring up at it like, yeah, I'm just like real close looking at all the line work, but from afar, it's beautiful. So.
Did you see any artwork from people that you know or like that you've been wanting to see artwork
Oh yeah, well
from?
there's this one dude, Chris Dyer, had a piece in there.
Mhm.
I tagged him on Instagram, but I don't think he saw it or maybe, too busy. You know how Instagram is.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm always stoked to see like people like I don't even think I've even talked to Chris Dyer, but like, he's a local artist. And at least he's, got his hands in a lot of things around here in Tampa and like
Yeah.
St. Pete and stuff. But he skates as well, I think, and super great dude. Amazing artwork. But I was like, that's the homie.
Yep.
He's up in here. So I'm
Yep.
like, that's what's up.
Yeah. Is that the largest piece that you've ever done, or have you done like, full walls? Like what's the largest
I
scale
thi-
piece that you've
I've worked on different projects with another group called Greater Public Studio, and we've done like it's like 4-story buildings, like
Yeah.
with like a boom lift. Personal work that's probably up there. I've done one shipping container, but 2 stacked is pretty. I'd say that might be the largest piece. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it actually probably is a personal like me only doing the work. Yeah, like I think that might have been the largest.
So when
So
you get
far.
when you get the call that you've got to that you got to put this together, just like what is the process for like what am I going to put up there? Like what am I going to paint?
Yeah, it starts with like the idea and like hey, we're gonna be in Amsterdam. This is for a special event. And then I'm like, my brain goes, okay, cool. Well, Amsterdam, what can we incorporate there? It's like, all right, tulips. It's like, what do I want to incorporate? Well, orange also happens to be the color of Netherlands.
Mhm.
So that kind of
Yeah.
works as well too. And I'm like, how can I bring Florida into this? It's like, all right, cool, palm tree, melting, whatever.
Yep.
And then after that, it's like kind of get a little abstract. Just start throwing colors around, see what works and like looks visually pleasing, at least to me. And then, after that, send the kind of the mock up over to the crew. Hey, are you guys into this? What else do you want to see on it? And then after that, just kind of go for it, take from there. And then so that originally it was just the front, but then I also had that side to paint. And so I had to wrap the image around, keep going, and just kind of like have that, like, it was like a fun, more like, abstract kind of going into like the more line
Yeah.
work. And so it was good.
And so do you draw it beforehand? Like, do you have it on a piece of paper, like what you're going to do?
Always on the iPad.
Okay.
So yeah, it's always like a mock-up on the iPad, and then like,
How do you do that on the iPad?
oh yeah,
Like
it's
Procreate, right?
yeah,
Do you-
Procreate.
Yep.
Yeah.
don't know
So
what
and
that
also
is.
too,
Oh, it's like an app that like
it's the greatest app
yeah,
of all
I
time
love
for
Procreate,
like
but
artists.
yeah, it's just like a drawing. I mean, you can
Are
like
you doing artwork on there too?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can. I mean, I'm not an artist in any capacity that you are, but I love to doodle.
Same. I want to see some of your doodles later.
Okay.
All right, after the show.
But yeah, it's just kind of like an app where you can, you have free range of
Okay.
everything. It's like
So
a
you put it on
sketchbook,
there,
but
and then
digital. Yeah.
you show that to like, this is what my concept is. So I guess
Yeah.
make some tweaks or whatever, and
Mhm.
then from there, so you're just kind of, when you get the shipping containers, then do you just
Right.
kind of like freehand it at that point?
Well, in the Strat, I mean, it's well lit. You can't really use a projector, so there's a different way to, kind of apply the mural or get it, at least your image on there. But I use the background artwork already as my reference points.
Okay.
Kind of lay my my artwork over that, and then kind of change the opacity. Like, hey, this point's going to be here, and kind of like start with your line work, and then after that, you start to section things out, scale it up properly. Also do some measurements depending, because like you gotta have the Visit Tampa Bay logo on there pretty proper, so it's like can't look wonky,
Yeah.
And depending on the artwork though, so if it's meant to be doodly and like kind of abstract, that's fine. But like I wanted it more crispy, so it just depends on like the layout and how you want it to be presented. So at that point, it's like once I have all my images up there and like everything's good enough, then you start applying paint and like how many layers is it going to need? Like,
Yeah.
originally I would have like wiped it all, primed it white, and then doodle grid method,
Mhm.
but it would have taken a little more time, which I didn't have because I was working within the hours of the Strat, and also like just 2 days to knock that out, 2.5 days. So I did 2 12-hour days, lots of espresso, and then
Yeah.
snacks here and there, and then I had to knock it out. So there was no time to really like do the process that I wanted. So I had to adjust on the fly, which typically happens with every project that you do. So
we were talking a little bit before you came on, just about you said you usually have a projector.
Mhm.
How does that work? Like the drawing is projected onto
Right.
the blank canvas.
Yep. So just for proportions and like, just to make sure your sizing's right. Other than that, it's like, and also depending on how intricate the artwork is, like, artists use them all the time. They use like the VR goggles now. It's really interesting. I've never used those yet, but it's a extra tool to help you like, not speed up the process, but just like, for me, it's proportion, because like I can go to a wall and like I'll just have fun.
Right.
But if you have like a very intricate, detailed thing you need on the wall, it's like projector, unless you're like pro, which there are people out there that can do this, but
Yeah.
like perfect circles and you name it, like
Yeah.
you need tools no matter what to like try
Yeah.
to, like to get your mural done. So,
Especially on a wall, because like your depth perception's kind of not like messed up, but like if you're
Yeah.
so close to it and then you
Mhm.
step back and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks wonky.
Well,
like that kind of is like an
you-
alert in your head.
yeah, you have to, and especially like, I mean, even painting like large scale murals like this, you have to step away because
Yeah.
you're staring at it and you're painting here, but then when you like go
Go
50
back-
feet back
yeah.
and you're like, hey, that line's off. Like
Yep.
I've got to go get the straight edge and like fix that. And there's all kinds of like, oh, this color needs like 3 more coats
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
often does that happen where you maybe like mess up?
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Nothing's ever perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't, I mean, first try is very rare, but you also need more coats because you don't, and it depends on the paint.
Yeah.
How does that lay down? I mean, I was using good acrylic exterior paint on that one, but also the what you're painting on. Those were like wood panels, and there was like layers and layers of like spray paint and like coats of paint on there already. So pieces were chipping off.
Yeah.
So like you just have to make it look good enough for like 50 feet back,
Yeah.
because I mean, we could all examine every artwork up close, but it's like, hey, this line's off, but like, hey, big picture,
Right.
it's perfect. But like, no one's really gonna critique it like that.
Do you bring your own paint?
No, we had
You get it
everything
over
set
there?
up. Yeah.
Okay.
This company I use is Sickens. I think it's a good one that was recommended. And it was great paint. But it just, for the front, I had to do like 5 coats of orange and like at least 3 coats of yellow.
Mhm.
And that was not normally
Yeah.
I'd prime it first, because then you get that nice base white.
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe you need like 1 yellow. And
Makes
then
the
like,
color pop a little bit more.
yeah, it definitely does make it pop more.
Yeah.
And that's the timing. And everyone's like, oh yeah, murals are easy. Like, no, there's so much more logistics that go into the like, and that's why they cost so much.
I mean,
Yeah.
who's saying murals are easy? That's
I don't know. People that haven't done them yet. I mean,
I look at it and I'm like, I couldn't even begin to comprehend
no.
how to
Yeah.
take something in your head and put it on such a large scale piece like that.
Yep. the paint and the materials is a whole nother like ball game too. It's like how much you can try to plan out how much paint and gallons you'll need, but
Yeah.
you could end up that color might not lay down good and you might need 3 gallons of it
Yeah.
for like large sections. And if you're rolling it on there, like it all depends.
What's your IG handle?
Dylan Perry _art.
Okay, everybody listening, you should go take a look at Dylan's IG and just take a look at that reel. I just found it fascinating, bringing in the container that already had been tagged up and had a really cool looking piece on it, and then you overlaying your piece on top of that. You've got a scaffold that you're using to go back and forth between the two, and like, where do you even begin? Like, how do you start? Like, what's the first place you're like, oh, I'm going to do, like, do you focus on, like, I'm going to do the left-hand corner today? Or do you do it in sections? Or do you just kind of go all over the place?
I picked the spot that I thought would be, like, easiest to begin with, which was, like, that blue square you'll probably see in the time lapse.
Right,
and then after that, I kind of, like, worked counterclockwise and, like, all right, so I have it here. And, like, maybe add the tulips and, like, the bulbs there. And then kind of, like, the line work, got to get the logo up on there. And then the circle, the curve, like it's just all. And then there's a gold triangle in there too, which kind of gave me some good reference points of like, hey, like from here to here, and then there we go with the palm tree, and then it just from there, like after you get the image up, like I said earlier, it's like it starts to fall into place.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, cool. How many paints of coats do I need now?
I feel like the hardest part is starting and kind of like
Well,
just getting the paint on the wall first, and just kind of have to like go for it.
You have to throw,
like,
start throwing paint down because then things are going to start happening.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's bring this back to where we kind of all started in this partnership. So can you talk about a little bit how you kind of came in contact with Visit Tampa Bay and how this whole partnership started a little bit?
It's a great story.
Yeah.
So Rooster in the Till has a lot of my artwork in their bathrums.
Favorite restaurant.
Yeah.
Great restaurant.
Brian loves it.
Chef Farrell's the best dude.
Yes,
and
he
along
really
with the
is.
entire crew. Shout out. That's my family over there.
Mm-hmm.
I have artwork in the bathrooms. You would never know it's there unless you go use the bathroom.
Yeah.
So other than that, Patrick was in there and his wife saw a pineapple painting. And then she was like, oh, this is really cool. I like this. I'm like, Patrick reached out to me to purchase the painting. So then I brought it here and we ended up having a conversation about like art in general. And like, then we got larger conversations going of like, hey, do a destination guide cover. And then like, from there it kind of stemmed that relationship, That's literally how it started. Like I sold a painting to Patrick and then like, here we are.
Love
Then
that.
just kind of got more and more projects.
Yeah.
The destination guide was the first thing you worked on for
We've done
Visit
like
Tampa
3
Bay?
destination guides with you, right?
Yep.
I think so far. We've done this one for people
This is
watching.
good for the
newest one.
podcast
Yeah,
listeners.
anyone listening, I'm holding up a magazine.
That's front and back. That's my first front and back cover.
Yeah. So it's like a full spread. Hopefully I can
You got some postcards there?
Yeah, postcards, which are really great. That was one of the destination guide covers, I believe.
Yeah, that's
the
one of them.
first one, I want to say
I
that you
did
did.
5 different versions of that, so they picked the one they wanted.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bunch of prints of them down at the visitor
There's a
center
lot
if
of
anyone
artwork
wants
that
to
I have in the
purchase.
office. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
we've got a
it.
couple. There's
Yeah.
one over your right shoulder. There's
Oh,
a piece
yeah.
over your
Yeah.
left shoulder here we put up
Phoebe's my
specifically for
favorite.
this. But just, I guess, doing those projects and, they turn out well, and that just kind of leads to more and more work.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always down to work with you guys, man. It's been super fun. And, I'm from Tampa, so it's like important to me. Like, I'm born and raised Hillsborough County.
Yeah.
Like, graduated from Chamberlain High School in 06. Like, this is my city. It means something to me to like work with like Visit Tampa Bay in that capacity where it's like, hey, like I'm from here. This is my city, my hometown.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Seems like a natural relationship because we want to help promote the arts. We want to
Absolutely.
elevate that aspect of, why a visitor might want to come to Tampa
Absolutely.
Bay. And we
Yeah.
have this art and culture scene that maybe a lot of people don't know about, but it's on us to get that word out. And I think you help to do that when you go to the STRAAT or when you go to Hamburg and we see these pieces there.
Yep. And I'm down to throw color around. Let's do it.
Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about Hamburg too, because you did this right after the STRAAT Museum. I think we're their official destination sponsor of FC St. Pauli, which if you don't know is a team in the Bundesliga, which is the top league, top soccer league in Germany. They were in the 2nd division when we first started with them, but they had a great run. They moved up to the Bundesliga and they've been there. They were there last year. They stayed up this year. Thankfully, they didn't get relegated, so they're still there. But they're very much known as like the counterculture club in all of Europe. They have this cult following just outside of Hamburg, but like all over the world of people who kind of identify with their their stance and their fan base and kind of what they believe in. They're
I
very
fit right in when I was there.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, this is my place.
very
Love this
much
place.
not corporate by any means. And so they have in their stadium called the Millerntor Stadium, they have, I haven't been there. I definitely got to get there, but just like one wall, is it kind of like underneath the stadium? Like where is
they
it
call
in
it a
relation
gallery,
to
so,
the
but how
whole
big
gallery.
is it? Okay.
There's like, there was 25 artists or maybe 30, but there's walls that are sectioned out and there's just
for each artist to kind of make their mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
there was
awesome.
a lot of artists in there. And it was great working in that environment because I never had before. So just working with all the other artists. I mean, I was there early. Like I'm always like early guy. Like I'll be here before anybody.
Yeah.
So I was like starting to get paint on the wall, and everyone started showing up, and they're like, "You already you're cruising through this." I'm like, "Well, you guys told me to be here at a certain time. Like, what do you want me to do?" So like after I hustled for like 3 days to get like what I wanted on the wall. Then of course like the next 2 days is like fine tune, critique myself. What can I add? How can I enhance? What do I need to take away? Do I like the line work? Same process. That was a little more intricate though, compared to the STRAAT mural, because there was a lot more detail that I needed to do. And like once you get the image on the wall, it's like, well, this looks wonky. I need to fix this.
Right.
And then it's like you're painting over it, taping over it, trying to get the line work right. I mean, it's not going to be perfect by any means, but like for me to be comfortable and okay with it being there for a year plus, I want to be like, all right, I did the best job I could possibly do with the time I had.
Right.
So
leaving know that you did the best that you could. Yeah, that's
for
awesome.
sure.
And so what did you do there? Like, what was your process of, I guess you're combining something from Hamburg, FC St. Pauli, and bringing elements of Tampa into a piece as well?
Yeah. So there was a whole theme on that one. It was like water is life and like the cycle. And there's also like a play on like the menstrual cycle in there too. So basically like the wave and like water creates art. So if you look at the mural, it's like there's a huge wave and then there's like 3 flowers, which is like the German cornflower, ode to Germany, the tulip symbolizing kind of rebirth. There's like a little like water dot with like a red line around it. That's kind of like, menstrual cycle leading up to like this weird, like abstract, like infinity, like forever, because it's like, the cycle never ends.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then we have the orange blossom, which kind of leads into like the Tampa section of like the mural, orange blossom, Florida, Tampa. And
also
then we have
kind
like,
of goes to you too, because orange is like your color.
Yeah. There's a small orange dot in there somewhere, but the Bay Shore section, and there's a flamingo, and then like there's a crazy looking like paintbrush that kind of goes back into the wave. So it's like a full circle thing. Got some champagnes up there that I kind of like to incorporate here and there. But then like kind of like the weird like green squiggle that kind of like flows into like Tampa shape. But then there's like the yellow and blue hearts around Tampa Bay. So it kind of points to that.
Yep.
So, we couldn't actually put the logo on that mural, but at the same time, it's like there's enough there where like, all right, this is from Tampa.
Blue and yellow, water,
Yes.
orange. I feel like people can
Enough nods
pull
to
their
Tampa.
context clues.
Of course, yeah.
And that piece will be there for the entirety of the season.
Yeah, and possibly longer than that, depending, because I think that might have been their last gallery opening they do.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, it was like the crew was kind of a little sad at the very end of the whole thing. They were like, oh, this might be the last one. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience working with everybody over there at the gallery. Like, it's like I've worked many events in the past through skateboarding, which is a whole different conversation. But just being there, like I felt right at home because everyone was like the camaraderie between the artists and the crew, and like everyone was trying to help each other and like, hey, grab extra paint if you need it. Like, hey, do you need this color? Like just everyone was like working together, which I thought was like really great. And, I wasn't sure how I was going to be over there, but right away I was just like, oh yeah, I'm at home. I'm good.
Like these are my people.
Yeah, for sure. It was awesome. There's like so many stickers all over the stadium too, like millions. It's crazy. Every bathroom has like walls of just stickers. It's like, it's so fun.
That's really cool. So you told Patrick that this whole experience was life-changing. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like, how has it kind of impacted you as an artist and as a human?
Yeah, it was life-changing because I've never been to that. I've never painted overseas or like worked in that environment, and like painting at the STRAAT was like mind-blowing. I'm just like, it was like a huge culture shock for me because I'm going from like 0 to 100. I'm like,
right.
Hey, you're painting this for like a week, and then you're going to come back and then hang out at the gallery, and then like, you're going to STRAAT and doing this. I'm like, I'm trying to digest the first thing I did.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just like, cool.
Yeah.
But I'm used to event mode, so I'm like, I can roll with the punches, and I'm like this. But like finally being home and like stationary, like the buzz in my ears kind of gone away, and I'm like, all right, like I've got a lot of things I've absorbed. I need to like apply this to like
Right.
my new work. So yeah, it was man, made great friendships over there at the gallery too. Like a lot of artists, and I I was able to hang out with them and like talk to them and like, hey, like because they're from all over the place, like Sweden, coming from Italy. They're like, so they. I'm like, what do you guys do like over in your countries? Like, what's going on there? Like,
Right.
how do you go from mural job to mural job? Like, it's so it was really cool and like to get a lot of good insight and like see all the different styles that everyone had. So it was really amazing. Like you know, it's again life hammer. I keep
Right.
saying that. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, this is like unbelievable that I was able to experience all this in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have 2 of those like back to back.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, I snuck in a Rome trip on a personal travel, but I'm like, dude, like it was like on go 24/7. Like
Yeah.
thankful for espresso on that whole
Yeah.
trip.
Right.
When did you discover that this is something that you wanted to do and that you could do it full time?
I kind of dabbled in like, yeah, I used to stencil on grip tape on my skateboard for such a long time.
Yeah.
And like, I would like stencil it, sell the grip tape, try to make some extra money, also for fun for me. I would see other skaters do it and I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this spray paint. And that kind of eventually evolved. Like I started doing that in like 2009 and then it kind of like weaned on and off. Like I would do it and like not. But eventually like during COVID, when everything kind of like stopped, it was like, I wasn't traveling a lot with my old job, and I was like, "Well, idle hands. I got to do something. Like,
Right.
what do I mean, be productive, at least in a positive way to like, what do I want to do?" So I started like really leaning into art more. And I was like, "Well, this is fun. I like this." And then eventually, like canvas work started happening, like commissions, like people would reach out, like, "Hey, can you paint me this? Like,
Yeah.
I like your style. Like, cool. Like, I'm always into it, and like I like the one-off commissions that are like challenge me too, because like I always need a challenge. So I'm like I want to try something new.
Yeah.
So that would happen a lot, and then eventually like I was approached because I had some artwork hanging in Roman Fig over in North Hyde Park.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Great crew over there too, right across from Willows. So I had a bunch of artwork hanging in there, and like the business owner or the building owner, so I'm sorry, he needed mural work done on those panels above Roman Fig and also Synergistic Wellness, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, so he was like, "Hey, can you paint this?" And I was like, "Sure." Gave him a bid. Everything worked out. So that was like my first large mural project that I did by myself.
Yeah.
Scissor lift, the whole deal, being 30 feet up. I was very nervous at that time. Now I'm like super comfortable and everything.
Right.
But the scissor lift's like swaying, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're,
that's
like,
very
holding on, like,
unstable.
"Yo."
I'm
If you're not
scared of
comfortable with
heights,
heights,
so-
it's pretty challenging.
I'm good now. Like I'm, no shy to like, heights through skateboarding, but man, like being up there, just also solo, like it's always good to have someone else with you, but like when I got to handle these projects by myself, I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
got to do this.
Mhm.
So I knocked out that project. It was a great first, like, hey, I can handle this. So eventually exited my old job and like I was like, well, I'm gonna do this. I want to do art full time,
Yeah.
no matter what. I'm very organized behind the scenes. I have my own LLC, S corp, all that good stuff. So I was like, well, I'm gonna do this no matter what, and everyone's gonna watch, like,
Mhm.
watch me do this. So first year, I have a list of like no's and ghosts and just like people that didn't want to reply or like
Right.
communicate. And like it was motivation for me. Like, cool, well, guess what? No one wants to work with me here. Or if they did, they just don't know how to communicate, which tell me no and I'll move on. I'm so
Yeah.
down. Like just
Right.
tell me like, hey, we don't have a budget or like whatever. But
Just give
people
me like a answer.
give me an answer so I can get this off my list so I don't have to think about it anymore. So year one was great. Learned a lot. Like, so now we're in year 2 of me being full-time artist guy, freelance. I've been to Europe 3 times, which is kind of crazy to say.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, because you did your trip to Brentford with
yeah,
Brentford FC, and you
We
did the
did.
paintings
With
with
the
the
crew.
players.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
those are my boys
I
over
forgot we
there.
did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like a full-on like football like
Yeah.
team now. I'm like
I know.
I got teams. I have teams.
You got a team in every league.
I know. I'm down. But yeah, so very thankful for all these opportunities. I mean, like I couldn't have imagined that like I painted at the STRAAT even like at any capacity, but let alone like for this cool like event. I was like, wow. All right. So year 2 is looking good. Like we're halfway creeping up, but like holiday season's coming up and like I'm finally back home. And I'm
Mhm.
like really excited to like get going. And like I've got a couple art shows coming up, one at Lara in Ybor and then another one at the Independent in Seminole Heights.
Uh-huh.
So I'll have a bunch of new work hanging up for those. And then after that, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm just like excited to continue on throwing paint around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and art is full-time now. Like,
Yeah.
how do you make that decision to say, I'm gonna leave corporate world behind and I'm going full in on art?
There's no excuse for failure. I have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta pay rent, right?
Yeah, I mean, that too. Yeah, 100%. And, you gotta play the game, and the hustle continues forever. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can our listeners see some of your work around Tampa?
Roman Fig. And then I think the Bakery Box in South Tampa has some artwork. That was another one of my first murals.
That's down below south of Gandy. Kind
Yeah.
of like I've been wanting to go there. I hear
Yeah.
they have like great cookies there on the
Yeah,
weekends.
good crew over there too. If you're ever in the Delta Sky Club in Tampa International Airport, I have
Okay.
artwork in there. I always
That's
forget
really
to say
cool.
that because it's not like a mural, but like, hey, that's like a notch
Yeah.
on like the belt of like, hey, I've got artwork in the Sky Club. And so yeah, it's there. Where else? Let's see. I've worked with the Greater Public Studio, and you might be able to see a few murals I've worked around town. There was one in Avion Park that we recently did at the parking garage, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Not my artwork, but I worked with the crew, so I was affiliated with that process, which is awesome. There's artwork hanging up at Hyde House Heights, a lot of larger scale work there. Lots of art in Roman Fig. Sometimes at the Epicurean Hotel, I'll have artwork depending on the rotation they have going on.
Right.
Hazel and Dot has a bunch of my artwork as well, and prints.
Yep.
That's my family. Allison's, great human. She does a great job over there. Rooster and Till. I
Yeah.
gotta keep saying that because there's actually new artwork in there that I haven't told anybody about. And
Oh.
I'll typically do that. Like, I'll just rotate the artwork and not say anything.
Yeah.
So just like, hey, you got to find it. If you know, you know.
Yeah. We also sell your prints and postcards and all of that in our visitor center.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to head to downtown Tampa and purchase some prints
Yeah.
into the visitor center.
And do you have your own studio? Like, can people go in or
I mean, if you reach out to me and want to take a studio, like,
just a little
tour
tour?
or
You'll
yeah,
give them
something.
a
it's not. I mean, it's 300 square foot.
Yeah.
But like I've tried to make the most space possible out of it. But yeah, if you want to come to my studio and check it out, it's in Seminole Heights. Just drop me a line and let's make it happen. Otherwise, like, let's throw some paint around, and make some murals happen.
Yeah.
Do you have like a website where people can go and maybe if they see something they like, they maybe want to purchase one of your works?
Yep. JustDylanPerry.com. So JustDylanPerry.com
All right.
is where you go. That's my personal Instagram handle, but I had to kind of incorporate that into everything. So yeah, there's artwork online. It could rotate out, but if you go there could be something you see today that
Yeah.
might not be there tomorrow. So
Yeah. We'll link in the description.
get it while it's hot. And then a lot of my I've just updated my website with all the projects I recently did. And so
Yeah.
like the STRAAT mural, Hamburg mural. I also did one for Villa Viva Hotel in Hamburg as
Oh,
well.
yeah, I saw that one on there.
And
Did you do that while you were in Hamburg
Yes.
this
I
past
did
trip?
I did 3 murals in Europe, which I can't believe, and then I got another gig while I was on that trip to go down to Miami right afterwards and paint a mural for Midtown Boba for the
Okay.
new
So
location. Another place you can find artwork is Midtown Boba, because I
Yeah.
did their murals, so that was where that connection came from. So Midtown Boba in Wynwood. Now I have my tag in Wynwood.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
So
So
cool.
yeah, I'm just I'm keeping the ball rolling. That was a
Yeah.
great all right, cool. You're up for a month. All right, come back, oil change my car, do laundry, go down to Miami for a week.
Yeah.
So
Right? What's one of your favorite pieces that you've done? I feel like-
murals.
yeah, or anything, honestly. I feel
Favorite
like that's a
pieces?
hard question, but
They're so I built these large canvases. They're birds of paradise, and that was for like the Epicurean Hotel, like one of their like seasonal rotations. It was like tropical floral.
Mhm.
And I built these large canvases. They're like 8 foot by 5 foot, and I built them and I stretched them like there's
yeah,
2x4s.
that's a cool process to
so I
watch.
built
That's
them-
very impressive.
Yeah, I built them. I built 2 large ones, and there's like a 4 foot by 4 foot. And they're currently hanging out in Hyde House Heights, but they've got moves since then. So that's where they live now currently. But I built and painted those in the parking garage there because they're so large.
Yeah.
I can't fit those into my Altima. Like, no, like
No.
I've gotta build these. Like I pulled up, like had my saw out, like I was ready to go. So it was really cool, and I'm really proud of those. And like, it's just like a personal project for me. It's like, hey, like how big can we go with this?
Yeah.
So yeah,
All right, Dylan, it's been great to meet you.
absolutely.
I've heard a lot about you. This is actually the first time I've gotten to meet you,
Right
but
on.
it's been great to hear your story, and
sure.
we're really looking forward to seeing where this relationship can continue with Visit Tampa Bay
Let's do it.
and Dylan Perry. And what else is in the future. I'm sure even bigger and better things.
Yeah.
The world's our oyster, so
We love amplifying your work.
Thank
so,
you.
Yeah.
We love oysters too.
Yeah.
All right. And thank you for watching another episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. Join us next time as we unlock more treasures around Tampa Bay.